Hey everybody, thanks for popping by the channel. Today what we're going to look at is Python logical operators. So in Python we have three logical operators. We have something called the AND, the OR, and the NOT. The AND and the OR work with multiple conditions, whereas the NOT just basically reverses it. It changes true to false and false to true. So we're going to take a look at these, so hang on. The AND and the OR logical operators, you can see here they take multiple conditions. So two or more conditions. They allow us to extend our functionality of our if statements. So the first logical operator we're going to look at is something called AND. So AND takes two or more conditions, and all the conditions individually, they all have to be true, and then that will evaluate to true. And we see we have two conditions, A and B. And if it's true and true, if it evaluates to true. But if anything is false, either A and or B, the expression will evaluate to false. Okay, I created another Python file called logical AND operators. And I declared three variables, int A, int B, and C. And let's try to use this AND operator. So if int A is less than int B, and, all in lowercase, int A is less than int C. Put the colon there, and our condition, both conditions will be true. So because 20 is less than 30 and 20 is less than 40. So this print statement should run. And we'll just put a little text in there. And let's try and run it. And sure enough, we did get our print statement running, so both conditions were true. Now to test this condition, I'm just going to copy and paste our if statement. And we're going to make a change. So paste. And let's change this condition so int A is to greater than int B. And we know that's false. We'll leave the second condition the same. And we'll change our text to reflect our change. And let's try to run this. And you can see here the second if statement did not run because int A is not greater than int B. But int A is less than int C. So we need both of them to return true for this AND operator. So I'm just going to throw an else in here. Remember, this is just a regular if statement. And I'm just going to put an else in here. And if that condition is false, the else part should run for this if statement. And I'll just change the text slightly. We'll just add a colon in there at the end of the text. And we'll change that to false. Okay, let's run it. And int A is greater than int B and int A is less than int C is false. Perfect. Congratulations on becoming a master of the AND operator. Now let's move to the OR operator. The OR logical operator also takes multiple conditions, but it works a little differently. The logical OR operator takes two or more conditions, and if either one is true, the condition is true. So in this table we have two conditions, A and B. And you can see here that as long as one of those conditions is true, the conditional will evaluate to true. So let's look at an example. Okay, so I made a new file called logical_or_operator. And let's just copy and paste the code portion from the previous example. And we'll just paste it in Visual Studio Code here in this new file. And I changed all the ands to or. Let's just run it. Make sure you're on the right file. Int a is less than int b, or int a is less than int c. So both of those are true. We only need one of them to be true for that print statement to run. The next one, int a is greater than int b, or int a is less than int c. The first part is false. The second part is true. So guess what? That print statement ran. So the last logical operator we're going to look at is not. It evaluates a single condition, and it changes a true to false or a false to true for your conditions. So open up Visual Studio Code, and I already created the file, and I copied the first few lines, and we're just going to use the not operator. If not int a greater than int b, colon, hit enter, print, and we'll just write a little statement out here, int a not greater than int b. Run this, and look at that, int a not greater than int b. Okay, it does take a little bit to wrap your head around negative logic, but I'm sure you're up to the task. So let's create another if statement. We won't use the not operator, and we'll just go as int a less than int b. We know that's true, right? And we'll print a little message here. Now the reason I'm doing this is just to point out that in the first if statement, we made a greater than, we used the not operator. In this one, we just use a regular less than. And you can see that both of these conditions are true. Think about it, because again, it can be a little confusing if you're new at this. Thank you very much for watching the video, and please subscribe. We'll see you soon.